Welcome back to your latest industry recap. From pretty important 737 MAX news to some exciting developments surrounding the A321LR and a new route announcement. Why not begin with the 737 MAX, where Allegiant Air has announced updates to its agreement with American plane maker Boeing regarding the upcoming delivery of brand new 737 MAX jets. Contract adjustments, such as those taken from the US airline, are becoming increasingly common as Boeing struggles to meet output targets. However, complexities inside its business really do limit this. Allegiant Air has amended the initial contract that it signed in December 2021, which would have seen it acquire 50 newly manufactured 737 MAX jets from Boeing. The primary adjustment to the agreement comes in the form of the delivery schedule, which is being forced to change, considering those challenges I speak of internally at Boeing, which will not be navigated in time to ensure that a smooth delivery can take shape in not just the coming months, but also the coming years. In an SEC filing, the carrier confirmed that between 2024 and 2025, the expected deliveries for the 737 MAX jets that form part of the batch of 50 will be reduced. When the American carrier committed to the 737 MAX, it actually expected that all 50 firm aircraft would be delivered by the end of next year, 2025. That, though, is not going to be possible following colossal delays in acquiring its first unit. These delays stretched on for quite a prolonged period, as seemingly the first delivery looked close on each occasion, and something else would then emerge that would mean Allegiant wouldn't have been able to take delivery of the plane. As a result, Allegiant Air has stated that it now expects all 50 aircraft to be delivered by the end of 2027. Now, this is permitting no further hiccups. Contracts may need to be rectified to align with Boeing's ongoing fundamental turnaround efforts, but obviously the hope would be that the latest amendment will be enough moving forward. The airline has also confirmed that the agreement will provide other benefits to them in the long term, which is related to the delays that they are facing, and obviously you've got to consider the operational and therefore knock-on financial impact. As for the remainder of 2024, Allegiant Air confirmed in the filing that it would receive up to 3 potential aircraft across the fourth quarter of 2024. This forecast is different from what was reported a month ago, when it was indicated that the airline expected no more deliveries for the year. Allegiant says that future deliveries in the last month of this year, and thus the quarter, are only possible because Boeing was able to rectify strike action with its employees, allowing them to get back onto the production floor, building and therefore delivering aircraft to customers, but it is by no means a guarantee that the aircraft are going to come through their doors. Moving over to Airbus and for Iceland Air, where the A321LR has completed its first flight in Hamburg as preparations ramp up for the very first delivery as well of this aircraft type to the Iceland-based company. Iceland Air is readily expecting the first unit and is thrilled as they look to enter a new era with a greater emphasis being placed on meeting the efficiency targets that have been outlined. Once the first delivery occurs, the aircraft is expected to undergo crew familiarization efforts, which will help employees come to terms with the new aircraft that they will call home for quite some time. And only once this is complete, the LR will begin stretching its legs on routes that it was actually purchased for. These crew familiarization flights are something that happens pretty much with every brand new aircraft type when entering service with a airline. Furthermore, from the standpoint of fleet selection, while the commitment to the A321LR does represent a shift away from what has typically been relied on across recent times at this airline, which has been that of Boeing and its own commercial aircraft portfolio. However, as many of Iceland Air's Boeing aircraft begin to show signs of age, there is a greater need for modern and fuel-efficient planes, and the airline's eyes have been turned in a different direction for a select portion of these future planes. Iceland Air is expected to lean on Airbus for future flying alongside alongside Boeing, with commitments coexisting for these single-aisle planes across these major aircraft manufacturers. Initially, you may recall that Icelandair committed to the 737 MAX, which it viewed as an essential pillar of its future single-aisle flying. But when Airbus continued to develop the A321neo program, there were fresh opportunities for the airline to really pounce on and leverage these capabilities to its advantage. These opportunities were certainly highlighted by Icelandair's need to replace aging fleet types, including specific 757 variants, and it felt that the A321LR could come in and play a role that was needed. Much of the airline's deliberation has come from a lack of a true middle-of-the-market airliner, which many companies called out for across the last decade to be provided by Boeing to help replace their aging 757s and 767s. However, with no true replacement arriving, well, airlines have had to make do and become more flexible with what is on the market to them. In the case of Icelandair, while I know a lot of the focus in today's video is on the LR, they've also committed to the XLR. Once those XLRs are delivered, even more routes will be possible thanks to the enhanced capabilities concerning range. The LR, though, will certainly give the company a taste of what's to come for transatlantic and longer-ranged services set to commence in the early to midway point of 2025. New routes are going to be the final focus of today's proceedings, with Fiji Airways announcing the expansion of its service towards the important market of Australia from next year, with the addition of a new city. From the 10th of April, Fiji will offer direct service between Nadi, its home, and Cairns in the northern part of Queensland. This flight will be operated thrice weekly on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, with Fiji Airways saying the route commencement does reflect their own overall ambition to increase connectivity opportunities for customers in maybe not your major cities across Australia. Moreover, the airline is timing the flight to align with some of its other major international services, and yes, I'm notably looking towards flights which connect onwards to the United States. In recent years, Fiji Airways has noticed an increased presence of travellers flying across the Pacific, using its service and stopping in Nadi before connecting onwards to the United States, and this has included myself. Thanks to Fiji Airways' membership in the One World Alliance and its extensive relationship with airlines here, passengers can leverage these relationships to connect onwards to more remote destinations in the United States from the likes of Dallas. And away from onward travel to the United States, Fiji Airways also knows that travel towards the northern part of Australia is incredibly important, with great access to tourism hotspots that maybe aren't as busy as your major cities in that of Melbourne and Sydney, but include luscious, relaxing beaches and even the Great Barrier Reef. The Boeing 737 MAX will be operated between the two locations from, again to reiterate, April of 2025. The company will offer onboard amenities such as complimentary meals, alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, Wi-Fi and entertainment content on what it calls its state-of-the-art next-gen plane. That'll conclude today's aviation news recap. Thank you very much for your support here on the channel. It is certainly appreciated. Please take care, be safe, and until next time, and I'll see you tomorrow for another industry recap.
And we'll fly.